Good morning. Welcome back to Car Connections. It is, I want to say, October the 13th. It's about 9:30 in the morning, Sunday morning, and this might be the first episode of many more episodes to come, and I'm going to call it Sunday Mornings with Car Connections. And the intent of these videos is on a weekly basis as new automotive new automotive car industry updates, new cars that are coming out, and it's just a forum for me just to, one, give me an excuse to drive my Camaro ZL1 and get out of the house a little bit, especially on a Sunday morning, and two, inform you guys of things that are going on in the car industry. And there's three major topics I want to talk about today, maybe a fourth. One is, what are my thoughts on the new 2020 GT500? And then number two, what are my thoughts on the 2020 Corvette C8? And then a quick update on incentives that's going on with Dodge currently. There's a video I posted around potentially trading in the Camaro ZL1 1LE for a Dodge Red Eye. I have decided not to do that and actually keep the Camaro. But I wanted to give you guys an update on what's going on in the Dodge world. And then I guess if you want to throw in a fourth one, besides incentives of what's going on with Dodge, is the new Dodge Charger wide body. I think it's a beautiful car. And what are the reviewers saying so far about the car? And what's that pricing look like? And is it competitive? All right, so the 2020 GT500, it looks like very, very similar to my Camaro ZL1. There's going to be a standard ZL1 non-track pack vehicle, and for the Camaro ZL1, that car on a base form starts at around $63,000 before discounts. If you get a Camaro ZL1 1LE, and then if you want to add the automatic like my car, that tends to add another maybe 6, 7, 8K to the car. So the reality is, if you want a Camaro ZL1 1LE automatic, you're going to be looking at around anywhere between $73,000 to $74,000 before discounts. Now, how does that compare with the 2020 GT500? Well, the 2020 GT500, they have a base model, if you want to call it, and that's going to start at $74,000. So basically, the GT500 starting price, base price, you could literally get a Camaro ZL1 1LE with the track pack, if you want to call it, or the 1LE pack, for about the same price. And so if you're really looking for a track monster, is the Camaro ZL1 1LE a better option? Because that's what you're going to pay for the base model on the GT500. However, there are some differences. The GT500 will naturally come with an automatic. I want to say it's a 7-speed dual clutch. You guys correct me. I want to say it was a 7-speed dual clutch. So it's going to be a fast shifting car. If you want to add a track package to it, it's $18,000, guys. So that's going to put you at around, you're pushing the $90,000, high 90s. That's a lot of money for a car. And again, all these are SRP before discounts, and I don't anticipate the GT500 having any type of discounts, probably in the first maybe 6 to 8 months. If you wait 6 to 8 months or maybe a year, you're going to be able to get a good $3,000 to $5,000 off the car. That's what I'm thinking. Again, on these cars, when I say this, the car I'm driving right now, which is my ZL1, You know, I bought mine, I want to say 4 or 5 months ago, and there was pretty much no discounts, a couple of, you know, grand off. But I've been looking online, and you can actually get some now in the high 60s. So they're knocking off, you know, a good 4,000, maybe 5,000 off these cars because the 2020 model's coming out. And I anticipate that the new 2020 GT500 will do exactly the same. I anticipate that discounts will happen on the car more towards the end of that year, 2020, before 2021. I think the GT500 is an amazing car, and we do got to recognize that, granted, it's more expensive than the ZL1 with the track pack. However, it's going to give you more horsepower. This car comes with 650 horses, and the new GT500, if I'm not mistaken, has 760. However, so you're getting a lot more power. However, it's a little bit more porky. And I think you guys know what I mean by porky. It's heavy. It's a heavy car. What's shocking to me is the new GT500 weighs as much as a Dodge Challenger Red Eye. That's, you know, how that's kind of crazy to me, especially when you're talking about a car that's a track car. You know what they did with the Camaro ZL1 1LE is they reduced some weight off it. I think they removed like 50 or 100 pounds. The wheels are lighter, the suspension's different. So they finagled a little bit to reduce a little bit of the weight. That doesn't seem to be the case with the new 2020 GT500. It actually went up in weight. Now, it's gone up in power to compensate some of that weight, and they invested in more of the infrastructure, the suspension of the car, to handle even better. So, you know, at the end of the day, yeah, the Camaro ZL1 has 650. The GT500, you know, has more power. However, the GT500 weighs 4,400 pounds, and the car I'm driving right now weighs 3,800 pounds. That's about a $400 or $500 difference in weight. And so when you start looking at that power to weight ratio, they start to be very similar cars in regards to weight. And ultimately, I believe, and maybe I'm biased, but I do believe if you take both cars out on the track with the same, say, professional driver, they're going to do very, very similar at the track. Very similar at the track. Yet one has more power, but because of that weight, it's kind of hurt that GT500. So what does that mean? It means that the Camaro ZL1 1LE, it is a better bargain car at the end of the day. Because it's going to cost less, and you're going to get a fully tracked out car with the wing, the suspension, and the front canard. So, you know, that's just my opinion. But again, at the end of the day, I'm just excited that the new GT500 is finally coming out. It's been a long time coming. You know, we've been waiting, since 2014, since the last one came out. So I'm just excited that Ford is finally coming out with this car, and I do believe it's a beautiful car, but for the bang for the buck, you might be off better with the Camaro ZL1, especially if you find one, say, used with maybe 1,000 miles. So that's what I think about the GT500. I'm excited about the car, guys. I think it's going to be a great buy. It's still a bargain buy for sure, but if you're looking for the ultimate bargain buy, I mean, it's probably the Camaro ZL1 1LE with the track package, or with the 1LE package. All right, so moving on. So let's talk a little bit about the C8 Corvette. So everybody knows about the car. There's nothing really new about the car that I can really add to it, except, you know, 0 to 60 in less than 3 seconds. That's mind blowing, right? That's what the current Corvette ZR1, guys, the Corvette ZR1, the 2019, does 0 to 60 in about 2.72. That's coming out of GM. And the new base C8 Corvette is going to do 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds. That just boggles my brain, because the ZR1 is about $120,000, $130,000 car, and this new C8, you can get it for $60,000, right? Which, I mean, you can literally have two 2020 Corvette two 2020 Corvettes for the price of one ZR1, and maybe even beat the 2020 ZR1, depending on what happens off that line. Now, we're just talking about 0 to 60. If we're being real with each other, the ZR1 will destroy the 2020 C8 Corvette in the quarter mile and top line, right? What's going to happen is off the launch, I do believe the new C8 will gain traction and pull away from the 2019 Corvette ZR1. It absolutely will happen. Somewhere around midpoint, though, the ZR1 will ultimately beat the C8 probably by 2 or 3 or maybe even 4 cars in the quarter mile. It will destroy it on the top end. So that, you want to talk about the biggest bargain, more than the ZL1, more than the new 2020 GT500. It's the Corvette. I think the Corvette it's bringing a new standard to the automotive industry. It's raising the bar on what cars should be doing in this world, and that's fantastic. And I do believe that's one of the reasons why, you know, they will no longer build the Camaro after the year, I think, 2023. I think Chevrolet has decided to pull all its money and investments on that new Corvette to make it the ultimate driving machine. I mean, it really is. It's going to stand up to that brand and that name. And so, for $60,000, and if you add a little bit of a track pack to it, I can't remember the exact name of the package you can add, which is another $5,000. That's where you're getting the, you know, 0 to 60 in 3 seconds. So, a fantastic ride. If you're in the market, if you already pre-ordered, that's awesome. Moving on to the Dodge Charger with the wide body package. So there's not really much to say. The pricing from Dodge is, again, very, very competitive on this car. It's a good looking car, the wide body. And it's a little different than the Challenger wide body, because the Challenger wide body has the wide body kind of tacked on to the car, compared to the new Charger. Instead of the wide body actually being tacked on to the car, if you want to call it, and it's not that noticeable. On the new one, it's basically, it's molded, it's built into the front end mold of the car, so it blends a lot nicer. And you know, it's a great looking car. It's still considered the fastest sedan out in the market. It did lose a little bit on the top end from a miles per hour, like if you're on the Autobahn or if you're in an enclosed area such as the airport. I think instead of going, the top end was 204 miles. Bless you, buddy. It's gone down to about 194 miles at the top end. And so, you know, it's a great bargain. If you have a family and you want some power out of your car, and, you know, it's hard with these cars, you know, the Corvette doesn't have a back seat. My Camaro has a back seat, but it's rarely used, and it's, you know, it's good for kids, but you're not going to fit 4 people in this car, guys. And it's probably going to be the same for the GT500. And if you get the GT500 with the track pack, it doesn't even come with rear seats, guys. You have to get the base model to get rear seats. But again, it's more to carry your backpack or on a pinch or kids. What's great about that Charger is you're getting a full-on muscle car with good tires now, 305s all the way around. That's going to probably stick. You know, it's hard to stick with 707 horses. But overall, 4-door sedan. I mean, you can literally drive this as a family car and have plenty of legroom for adults, not on a pinch for the back. So there is a special edition that's coming out with the Charger, and I mentioned it's called the Daytona, and they're only going to be build around 500 units. I want to say 500. Was it 501? Yeah, 501 units. So a very small amount of units. And so if you're interested in that Daytona, I do believe that's going to be a very rare car. They're only building few, and it's going to be in that B5 blue, which is a beautiful color made by Dodge. And so you're in the market, you probably want to pre-order that car. That way you get an allocation. Hopefully you can get it at stick or under. And I do believe that car will absolutely go up in value, because they're not making that many. It's almost like the Dodge Demon, except not as rare, because in the Dodge Demon, well, actually the Dodge Demon, they made 3,000 units, and on this one it's only 501 units. But I do believe the Dodge Demon is still a much more rare car, just because of the sheer power that the car gives you. And you know, you get the Demon, that box in the mail with the skinnies in the front, and it's the whole atmosphere and the aura of the Dodge Demon. And so, you know, they're still holding their value, by the way. Dodge Demon's holding its value. You go on eBay right now, you can still see them around 105, 110, some at 130, and that's what people are paying for them. But going back to this Charger, if you're interested in that Daytona, you probably want to pre-order it, and hopefully you get an allocation. And maybe dealers are unaware of how limited production of that car is, and maybe you can get a chance to sneak in there and order that car under that spec and get it at MSRP, which would be great. And then the last thing, I'll go ahead and end the video, is the Dodge dollars or Dodge incentives are still out there, guys. It's like $7,000 or $8,000 off the red eyes, pretty much almost the entire lineup of Dodge. They extended it. It was only for the month of September, but if you go on Dodge's website right now, they've extended all for the month of October up to October 31st. So for you guys who are on the market at a Dodge and you're looking at a red eye or a Hellcat, this might be your time, because there's several things that are playing in your favor. Is we're going into October, and it's a 2019, and the 2020 models will soon be hitting the dealer. So that's a big advantage for you. So the dealers are going to want to be getting that car off their lot. And two, they have these nice Dodge dealer, call them Dodge bucks, for about $7,800. And so I believe not only can you get the $7,800, but because a year is turning soon, you can probably get another $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 off, you know, the base MSRP on that car. As I told you on my last video, they were discounting red eyes from the dealer around $10,000, and then on top of that, they were throwing in the Dodge dollars, which was another $8,000. So it's around $18,000, $20,000 discount off of a red eye wide body, which is, again, is a complete bargain. All right, guys, you probably heard my son sneeze. Keep in here real quick, bud, so you can see. There you go. He's been sitting here all along, quiet. He likes to sometimes get on the car with me, if I can force him to get on the car, especially on a Sunday drive. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe, guys. Again, this is the first episode. I'm calling it a Sunday Drive with Car Connections. And it's just a vlog around updates and what's going on in the car industry. And if you guys like it, make sure you guys hit a like. If you haven't subscribed, of course, make sure you subscribe. If you don't like the video, go ahead and give me a big thumbs down. I'm okay with it. And any feedback you guys want to provide, you know, I'm more than welcome to take the feedback. I hope you guys enjoy your Sunday. What's great about this time of the year in October is we have the NFL games going on if you're into sports, and we have October baseball. And my Astros just lost yesterday to the Yankees, which kind of sucks. So we have a lot of sports going on. Try to enjoy it with the family, and we'll get ready for the grind on Monday for work. So again, thank you for viewing, guys. You guys have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace.